Welcome back to WePC. Today we're unboxing the MSI Gaming X Trio 3070, which literally released about 3 hours ago, and we were fortunate enough to go and order one online and go and collect it. So let's get into it. Yeah, so this came out today. Obviously everyone's been very excited for it. It was delayed from the original launch date, which was, I want to say October the 7th, might be the 8th. Anyway, at the start of this month it was supposed to release, and obviously it didn't. They delayed it. So as normal, the MSI and all graphics cards comes with the warranty. For MSI it's in a little envelope. As I said last time when I unboxed the 3090, generally don't touch that. And then as always, foam, anti-static bags and GPU sag bracket, well, anti-sag bracket. Let's just pop this out. Obviously we've already unboxed the 3080 and the 3090 of the MSI Gaming X Trio, so we can compare if there is anything different. In this case the anti-sag bracket is exactly the same. A bit annoying, like they used to do the branding on the anti-sag bracket, but they don't anymore. It's just plain black, which I kind of preferred it when they did the branding, because it kind of, when you added it to the case, it actually looked like you had dual cards or just like one massive card. As well, that little bit of rubber that you can just apply to the top here to just add more touch points with the card. I would recommend using this if you are going to buy yourself, whether it be the MSI or another brand, as long as they come with an anti-sag bracket. I know Gigabyte like the smaller Gigabyte ones never did, but I don't know about this time round whether they will or not. One thing I have noticed about the MSI version of the 30 series is the way they box it now. It kind of gets shoved underneath. You can't really see it, but it gets shoved underneath here, which basically means it's a pain in the backside to get out, and it's also a pain in the backside to put back in. However, I'm assuming anyone watching this isn't probably going to be putting it back into the box, and instead is going to be throwing it into their PC. Oh, a little bit of a rip there. Shame. Let's just whip it out of here first. Mind the noise. Just pop it on the table, and we'll just quickly get rid of all this stuff. Here we have it, the MSI Gaming X Trio 3070. As I've been mentioning with all our unboxing, I'm a massive fan of the MSI model variants of the Gaming X Trios, both the 20 series and the 30 series. As was with the 20 series, the 30 series follows the same suit in terms of the appearance and aesthetics are pretty much exactly the same for the 30 series. So whether you get the 3070, 3080 or 3090, they're very similar in size, if not the same, and triple fan, yeah, basically, and the same branding, same RGB, which we'll go through in a minute. Yep, so it's got 3 DisplayPort, 1 HDMI, as did the 3080 and the 3090. From an aesthetic RGB perspective, you have these 3 lines here on the front/side, which light up. You also have the little MSI logo on the top here, which lights up, and lastly is this RGB bar along the top at the back that lights up as well. Quite subtle compared to the 20 series, so if anyone's familiar with the Gaming X Trios or the Gaming Z Trios 20 series, they were slightly more RGB, but yeah, that is what it is. Other than that, I'm just trying to see if there's any actual differences between this and the other 30 cards. It does feel a bit lighter, which I would imagine. Having seen the Founders Edition, obviously it's a bit smaller, but yeah, it looks pretty much identical to the 3080 and 3090, obviously bar the NVLink. I think at this point we'll get the 3080 and the 3090. Okay, so we have a full house, obviously, as you can see, 3070, 3080, 3090. Yeah, pretty exciting actually, to be honest. It's been a while since we've had the full set of graphics cards before, and obviously these were incredibly difficult to get. Not everyone knows, but we did actually purchase all these. We didn't get any freebies or any of that stuff. We did actually just use a lot of energy and time to go and pre-order, and then patience as well. So yeah, we've got the, which one's which? We got the 3090, the 3080 and the 3070. So obviously the only difference between the 3090 and these two, or the biggest difference, is the fact that the NVLink, obviously only the 3090 has this. Other than that, the 3090 and the 3080 both have triple ports. The 3070 just has dual, which are dual 8-pin. Obviously these have triple 8-pin, sorry, just had to think about that. Yeah, triple 8-pin, double 8 pin, which is always nice, just because it means you don't have to bloody use 2 PCIe cables and just one instead. So yeah, as you can see there. Other than that, I mean, obviously this is the first time I've actually been able to compare these. I'm just looking at the size as well and just seeing if there's any other obvious things I can see different, because one thing I did think was different is the thickness of this RGB, which is really difficult to see, but I think it might be my eyes, because I don't think there is actually a difference in the thickness of the RGB. It's definitely longer though. It's definitely a different RGB channel at the back. This basically, this thick line here, it's definitely slightly different on the 3070 variant to the 3080, and actually the 3090 is different as well, because that actually has a bit which protrudes down. Don't know why, I imagine it's to do with the PCB board, but yeah, slight difference in the RGB. Whether or not that would have a slight difference when it's turned on in terms of the brightness and whatnot, but to me it looks like the 3080's definitely got the thickest, widest RGB at the top there. Other than that, the heatsink itself, the 3080 and 3090 heatsink design is definitely the same. The 3070 isn't as large on the right hand side. It protrudes a lot more on the 3090 and the 3080 compared to the 3070 here. It also lifts slightly on the left hand side on the 3070, whereas the 3080 and the 3090 have exactly the same heatsink. It just seems, for whatever reason, the 3070's got a slightly different heatsink design. Another thing that we've noticed that's slightly different on all of the cars this time is the backplate. The backplate design, where basically we have these cutouts. So this is a 3090. The 3090 has this style, I don't know what you'd call that, but that style. The 3080 has no cutouts, it's just kind of been engraved. And then the 3070 has larger cutouts, as you can see there. So why, I don't know, maybe so we can see the difference. I do remember the 2070, 2080 and 2070 Super, 2080 Super and the 2080 Ti MSI Gaming X Trio were, I'm sure they were absolutely identical, so it's quite difficult to realise which one's which until you read the little tiny sticker at the back. Whereas at least this time, if you remember that, then you know which one's which. Not that everyone's juggling between 3 cards these days, especially the 30 series. Okay, aesthetically, that's pretty much all we can find that's different. Overall, they all look great, obviously. That's why I like the Gaming X Trios. Would have preferred a bit more RGB, but hey ho, no complaints really. Ultimately, we're going to be able to find out what's really different underneath these cards when we go to benchmarking, which we're going to be doing next. We're going to take the 3090, 3080 and the 3070 over to our testing bench and find out how they perform. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment below, like the video and check us out on our next video. See you soon.